13 part of when you fell for a dangerous man and your possessive best friend was obsessed with you. Author point of view. Jungkook left from where he came and you fell on the floor.
Your breath stuck somewhere in your chest. While pouring out tears, you rubbed your face to undo his touch. Pulling yourself on feet, you stumbled out of the room. You wanted to tell this to Taehyung and Jimin. I think you will not tell my brother about us. His words hitting in the back of your mind. Jimin, if you cannot change yourself, then stay away from Yan. You stopped in the midway near the kitchen.
You think I am not trying? His voice was hoarse. Duh, I have been living like this for centuries. I cannot change overnight. Duh, I just cannot open up easily. Jimin, you had been loving her for years, but I think loving from the distance is different than loving someone closely. Duh, I love her more than anything, but in some cases I am keeping her out. Duh, I just don't know. He ran his hand through his already ruffled hairs. You cleared your throat and stepped in. Jimin, oh, welcome, John. You need anything? Duh, were you eavesdropping? Jimin looked between you two. Shan, did you just accept that you are keeping things from me? You questioned. He slammed his hands on the counter and stood from his place. Jan, where are you going now? Are you running away? He was not stopping. He held his arm and turned him around. Jan, you cannot leave like this. His lips sealed in a thin line. You came to tell them about Jungkook, but now you were changing your mind. Duh. What do you want to know, Jan? I already told you a lot. Jan, a lot, but not everything. Duh. You don't need to know everything. His voice was low, but a storm was growing in his eyes. He gently freed his arm. Jan, all right. If that is your decision, then don't expect from me to share everything. He frowned, and same did by Jimin. Da, what do you mean? He asked, taking a step closer to you. Jan, I don't think I need to tell you. Da, Jan. Jimin, stop being childish. We need to sort this out. Jan, do you have something to tell us? Your heart thumping in your chest as both of them stared into your soul. Jungkook's words repeated in your mind. Jan, no. Jimin didn't look satisfied. Jade again called to bring you. Duh, she doesn't need to go. Jan, I will go. Taehyung's chest rumbled when he growled. Duh, I will handle it, Jan. Jan, you don't need to decide everything on your own. He opened his mouth to say something when Jimin interrupted. Jimin, let's go, Jan. I will take you there. You averted your gaze from Taehyung. Jimin walked out. You followed him, and your wrist was in Taehyung's hand. His eyes showing guilt and both anger too. Da, Jan. His voice quickened your pulse, but you didn't let that take over. The anger stirring inside you. Jan. Later, Taehyung. His jaw twisted when you pulled your arm. That was an office where Jed asked you to come. Jimin followed in, not leaving you alone. Jade, take a seat, Jan. You sat down feeling uneasy. Jade, Jimin, can you leave us alone for a small talk? Jimin, of course not. He comfortably took a seat near to you. His arm brushed with yours, sending you his body warmth. Jade, she is a human and she is beautiful. I get it why three men are ready to start a war. A very light pink shade touched Jimin's cheeks for a moment. Jade, tell me about your last meeting with Jungkook. He asked you, remembering Jungkook's gaze and his touch. You shifted at your place. Yan, he kidnapped me about few days ago. Jade, note it down. Jade, did he say something specific? Yan, no. Then he must have done something specific. His question flashed the hours you spent at Jungkook's place. Jimin's face contoured at that question. He noticed your face that was turning white. You flinched when Jimin put his hand above yours. You looked at him. He gave you an assuring nod and squeezed your hand. Jan, nothing specific. Jade closed the file on which he was taking notes and chuckled. Jade, your obsessive friend kidnapped you and did nothing. I don't believe this. Did he touch you or Jimin? Enough of this investigation, Jade. Jimin stood and you were pulled along as your hand was in his gentle grip. Jade, it will be better if you just wait outside. Jimin, we are leaving. Jade, you cannot take Yan with you. He will stay here. Your heart sank down. Yan, no, I will not. You wrapped your other hand around Jimin's arm. That was interestingly noted by Jade. Jade, it's according to policy. Jimin, who cares? You were grateful that Jimin took you out from Jade's office. At your insistence, he brought you to a nearby club. Jimin, in all this messed up situation, I don't think that getting drunk can be a nice idea. Yan, I need to get off all thoughts from my mind. You gulped down and offered one to Jimin. After a while, he had finished half of the bottle. The one who was not ready to drink was not about to waste. You looked around with heavy eyes. A familiar smell passed you. Jan, I will be back. Leaving him there, you went towards the bathroom area. Walls were already dancing and your vision was blurry. After finishing your business, you lost the track due to crowd. A strong hand clasped around your arm when you were about to fall down from the stairs. JK, careful Jan. His voice sent you shivers. He pulled you away from the people and caged you between himself and the wall. Jan, Jungkook, your breath hitched when he put his hand at left side of your face. His touch was burning you. JK, I always kept the drinks away from you. Look what you did. He put your hairs behind your ear. Jan, you just said you will not insist. JK, you wanted to press. Passing in hurry, someone pushed him and his body. JK, did you think about the deal? To stop murders, you have to come to me. He locked his arm around you and more, your eyes lingering all over his face. Was that the effect of drink or his spell that heat swirled inside you? JK, you are mine, John. You folded your arms around him. JK, you always were. Why fighting with fate? His words were passing over your head. You engulfed your fingers and a grin spread on his face. You felt his hand at your waist. He slipped something inside your pocket. JK, you are too innocent for this darkness, he whispered, your mind signaling your body to run away from this spell. JK, but I want a light in this darkness. Suddenly, nausea built inside you. Pushing him away, you were taking deep breaths with closed eyes. When you opened them, Jungkook was nowhere. Your pulse racing, thinking how close you two were. The feelings were still there. Your body was swaying and you were craving for some touch. Going back to Jimin, you took the seat. Jan, I think I saw him. You slurred. Jimin's head was hanging down. He mumbled broken words when you palmed his face and forced him to look at you. His eyes dangerously dark when he opened them. Jan, Jimin, Jimin. We should leave, Jan. You both stood on your feet and he stumbled towards you, his arms around you and his face. Jan, why you drank this much? His head tilted and your heart beat crazily. He gulped, setting on your heart drumming in your ears. You should pull away. You wanted to, but you were losing control as he searched under your skin. Jimin, don't. No, he said to himself, fighting with the emotions. You gasped when he was pulled away. Pounding of your heart took over the high beat music playing in the club when your eyes fell on Taehyung. He was glaring at the Jimin, who was now on the floor, fainted. Jan, Taehyung. He moved his eyes to you. They were enraged. Something plummeted inside your stomach. Jan, it's not like this. He was drunk and words died somewhere when he was approaching you. To be continued. How many of you who ship Yan with Jimin too? Instant Army. Thanks for watching and love you all.